All right, everybody. We're a couple minutes early here. Let's see here. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes here for everybody to get on. If you're on here now, I don't think we have anybody yet. All right. How's everybody doing this evening? Thank you so much for coming and wasting your evening with us. um, so we'll give it a couple minutes here and we'll get going. Just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get on board. So we're just a couple minutes early to the top of the hour. What's up, Steve? How are you doing? I knew you'd be here. It's all your fault, by the way. All right. Raphael, how you doing, sir? Scott, hello. JJ Fording Poor Soul Studios, how you doing? Oh man, I hope your father-in-law is okay there, Scott. We'll keep our fingers crossed for him. Jerry shared on my socials. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Making sure everything is working correctly and everything. So I didn't stream last week because I had inventory at my current job and or my day job, and so it was too chaotic for me. I just couldn't get it done last week, guys, and I apologize for that. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? We are at the top of the hour. I do have a special guest with me this evening. I got Miss Jamie from Homemade Jam 3D. Jamie does have a YouTube channel, and she also has a TikTok channel and whatever else is social media. She's out there. And there's Jamie.
Hey, y'all.
All right. So how's it going, Jamie?
It's going pretty awesome. How are you doing?
I'm good. I see you got some stuff printing in the back.
I do.
Busy at work.
And mostly FDM stuff right now. We have a steampunk festival coming up next month. So
really, that's cool.
Yeah, in Van Buren, not far from you.
Van Buren, Arkansas.
It's a pretty big deal.
I think I remember seeing stuff about that, but not 100% sure.
Hey, Jerry. But yeah, we're gonna do my future daughter-in-law. I'm gonna call her that because it's wishful thinking.
Awesome.
She does painting, like actual art, and she sells her prints. So we're gonna share a booth, and I'm gonna sell my prints, and she's gonna sell her prints.
Hey, that works. That's good. Yeah. Art is art, right?
Yep. That's what I think. Yeah.
So, so tonight, what we're kind of talking about are mistakes to avoid in 3D printing, and there are a lot that I have learned over the past few years that I've been printing. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is that you have too, Jamie. Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk about those a little bit, and then we'll kind of talk to the people in the comments and the chat and everything, and we'll just kind of take it from there. We usually, like I said, Jamie, we usually start just on a subject, and then we kind of get off track a little bit, and we try to get on track. But it winds up into we start answering questions and everything. We usually have a pretty good interactive audience in the comments and everything like that.
Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions.
Sure. So I have to ask, let's say, what is your biggest mistake that you've ever done in 3D printing that you could probably tell people so they don't do it?
Oh my gosh. I've been doing it a while. So,
yeah,
there have been a lot of lessons learned.
Right.
Biggest mistake. Wow.
One of the big ones.
And I'll tell you mine. Being closed-minded about, in the beginning, I was very closed-minded about what programs I wanted to use, and and very kind of snobbish as to what printers I wanted to use.
Right.
And then I think it's because I had that if it ain't broke, don't fix it philosophy.
Right. Right.
But now, I don't know. I'm like, let's try to break it. And I know that sounds crazy, but I want to experiment and do all the crazy things that is like out of the box thinking.
Yeah.
Because once you realize that it's only a machine. Now I'm mostly talking FDM here because they're easy to tear down and put back together and all that.
Right.
But once you realize that it's a machine and you're not going to break it by doing just something that not everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's more fun than building whatever you want to build.
Yeah, I think a lot of people stress out over it in the beginning. They're not totally sure.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
they
you,
start
you
having
spent all this money on a printer, and
right.
you're afraid to do
Yeah.
anything basically.
So I would probably say my biggest mistake in 3D printing is when I first started out is I didn't do enough research. I didn't do enough research as far as understanding what kind of printer that I needed or that I wanted to get in order to print what I wanted to print. So, like my first one was an Ender 3 Pro. I mean, that was my first printer, and then that one was just it's just a fairly small printer, and I was always wanting to print bigger stuff, so I just didn't do enough research. And then when I got into resin printing, it was like I went straight into the Mars Pro, and again, another small machine. I wasn't very, you know, I wasn't in tune with what was out there, because I knew I wanted to print statues. I wanted to print 1/6 scale, 1/4 scale, and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do is their research into what printer they really want. So
Yeah, I
we
agree.
wind up going in and buying the first thing that we see that everybody's got. It's the new
Everybody's got it. Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
got. And instead of researching, what could be the printer that we would really want. Like if I knew like this, the certain printers that I'm using now, if I knew it back then, I wouldn't have wasted my time or my money, and I would have went straight for the jugular on those. So
Right.
I would say that would probably be the biggest mistake that I made. And so I highly recommend if you're getting into 3D printing that definitely look into what everybody's using, but look at reviews, look at different things, look at different companies and everything. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, essentially these things are all made in the same area anyway.
Yeah.
But
They're all the same parts basically.
right, they all come from a central place, but it just depends on the technology behind it, what they put into it. So I think that plays a huge part. The other
I was
thing,
completely the opposite. I researched to death
did you?
the first printer. Is the
You can
very
overthink it.
first printer you're going to buy, and so I'm one of those that vacation. I research it to death. TVs, I research it to death.
Right, right.
So I knew going into it that I didn't want something small. If you're going to go big. So
Right.
my first buy was actually that Creality CR10 V2 back there, and now I have two of those. And golly, they had just come out. So
Yeah.
however long ago that was, 4 years, 5 years ago.
That's been a while. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
that
I
was
mean,
probably the best $500 I ever spent.
and the price of printers are coming down, and a lot, they're putting out more and more people are getting into it and everything like that. So if you're really getting into 3D printing now, then that means you have like double the research that you have
Oh,
or that
for
we had to
sure.
do back in the day, because there's so much out there now. You just really, you just don't know. But it's just a matter of like I said, reviews and looking at YouTube videos and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and finding
YouTube
out what's out there.
is your best friend. I
Right.
mean, for everything. But that being said, that's where I kind of got pigeonholed. I'm not going to use any names, but there was when I started resin printing, there was one person that I took his word as gospel for everything, how to
Yeah.
support, how to everything with the resin printing, and then I finally realized I can do better on my own.
Yeah.
Doing it this way. So that's where I had to learn how to look 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 out high, farther than where I was at. That's
Right.
probably my biggest mistake because I probably wasted a year. Um, I would have so many failed prints in the beginning. Oh my God, it was horrible. And I would spend hours supporting. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
Um,
Jerry says orange monster in YouTube every morning. That sounds like something he would say, right?
I live and die by YouTube.
Oh, geez. I mean, the other couple of things is once I did the research and I found the printer or a select few printers that I wanted, um, I really needed to look at. Um, I really need to look at the just the just the specs and stuff. Really dial into the specifications of what I really want, because there's some stuff on I could care less about cameras and stuff like that
Right.
on there. I just want the thing to print,
And
um,
print well.
and print well. Yeah, exactly. I could care less about speed settings or anything like that. And that's what I tell a lot of people on the live streams and everything else. We got people out here who, oh, it's got to print fast, it's got to do this, it's got to do that. I could care less about any of that. I just want a good quality print. And if I'm getting a good quality print, then I'm satisfied. So
Yeah, if you can print 300 millimeters per second, great. But are you getting a good print?
right.
Are you getting good details? I mean,
Yeah.
I would rather print 50 millimeters per second all day long if I can get an absolutely beautiful print. Paul
Yeah.
Feeney gets FDM prints that look as good as resin prints.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
does some
not
pretty good
because
stuff.
he's
Yeah.
printing as fast as possible. It's because he's printing at the speed and whatever to get his dialed in printers amazing prints.
Right.
And I call him the FDM god.
He's really good. So, I mean, a couple of things too is calibration prints. That's something else that mistakes to avoid. Always do your calibration prints. And I'm really bad about getting a new printer, and I just want to go printing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste
I
my
do
time.
that.
And well, I think we all do at some point. You know,
Do as I say, not as I do.
yeah. I mean, so I don't think that I'm like my last couple of printers. Well, the Uniformation GK2, I didn't do a calibration print. I just went head first.
Oh no,
And
I plugged it in and started printing.
I started
think
printing
I plugged
right away.
it in and printed something that was this big.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah, that model right back there, that Callum Andrews,
yeah.
huge thing. That was the first thing I ever printed on the GK2. I was like, here we go.
Well, I saw that it was, it come pre-leveled and everything. I'm like, well, if it's pre-leveled, why do I need to do a calibration print? So
Yeah.
I just chunked some resin in there and just started printing right away, and man, it turned out great. So, but you don't do as I say or do as I do. I mean, so
Hey, Philip.
for people that are getting into 3D printing, yes, do your calibration prints. So that'll help.
There are printers that you can get away with stuff, and then there are printers that you can't. You've got this Anycubic Monowix 6K. I would just as soon throw it out in the yard, because every single resin you've got to do. When I've got these other printers that will you just turn it on and go, and you don't have to calibrate anything. I can put any resin in that GK2 and print it on the X15 file, and it prints. It prints beautifully.
There's some that are like that. I don't think they're like GK. The Uniformation is not well known. I mean, they're not like
it's a brand new
or,
printer.
Yeah, they're not like Anycubic or Elgu or anything like that. I mean, they're a fairly small company and stuff. But I love the stuff that they've come out with. I
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, fine.
But it was last February that I won a contest, and they sent me the GK1, and I think the GK1 had just come out in like November, so they're that new. They're a year and a half old. But I'm telling you, they've done their work as far as a printer that is easy for somebody who has never printed before. I push these printers, because if you've never resin printed, you don't have to have all of that, all of the crap that you got to go through to learn how to to calibrate and exposure settings and all the junk that you got to learn. With the GK2, you don't. It's just plug and play basically. So other than the price, I wish they would bring the price down or make a smaller printer for people who don't need 10.3 inches of printing awesomeness.
I agree. I mean, I think that they would sell a lot more printers if they could get the price down, but I understand a smaller company
Jerry.
has to make more money. Hey, Jerry's already roasting you, huh?
Jerry knows me. I can't keep my mouth shut.
Thanks, Jerry. So a couple more mistakes. I mean, are there any others, one that really pop out there? I mean, I've got a load of them here that I could talk about. Let's talk about Patreons for a second, because I know when I first got into 3D printing, Patreon wasn't really a thing. I think it was just now hitting. But when I really discovered Patreons, I just joined a whole bunch. So like, I know like with Wicked, Wicked every month they release 10, 12 models a month or so like that. And you got so many files that you'll never be able to print them all in a timely manner. So I think that's another mistake that people I would recommend to avoid is just as soon as you get a printer, run out there and just start joining a whole ton of Patreons, because what you're going to do is a couple of things. You're going to get tons of files that you're not going to be able to print right away. It's going to piss you off. It's going to frustrate you. And you're going to start looking into like faster settings. What can you do to print more? You might get out and get another printer or two, but I mean, that could be a good thing. You could be like me and have 15, but but I mean, I think what that does is it overwhelms you to a point to where you wind up getting frustrated and just say, you know what, I'm just not going to do this. This is too much for me. This hobby's too much. What do you think on that?
Well, I don't really have a dog in the race because I've not joined a single Patreon. Thankfully, I've been lucky enough that, and I guess probably being an admin in the 3D printing model marketplace kind of helps that, because they know I'm going to post a video of their models. So
Right.
I can pretty much email any of them and say, hey, I want to make a video on one of your models. Can I have this model? And they say, yeah. But as far as spending money monthly for models, there are so many out there that are free, or you can buy one model that you want of theirs on Cults or My Mini Factory. I agree with you. You can end up with this huge amount of models and never print them.
Right. I can't tell you how many files I have on my computer right now of just models
same.
from Wicked and a couple of the patrons that I'm part of. I just don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to print all that stuff. So, I mean,
but you feel obligated to download because you're paying them money every month.
Right.
And I have literally sat here in front of this computer for an hour and a half looking for something to print.
Yeah.
Because I want to print something. But that's where I think you're talking about, where you get overwhelmed at how much you have. You really don't know what you want to print.
Right.
So I think pick one or two. If you want to do the Patreon thing, pick one or two. I don't like pushing names, but Wicked is a really good one. But that's just because I'm a Marvel junkie. But one or two that you like everything that they do. David Chambers has a great Patreon too. He doesn't overwhelm you with so many models every month. He gives you a good amount. You could do a model a week and you're still getting your money's worth. You feel like you're getting your money's worth, but not overwhelmed with files.
Yeah, true. I think that, if you join a Patreon, the mistake that you it's not a mistake, but the thing that you should realize is if you join a Patreon, most of them are releasing like 2 and 3 models on average a month, which is fine. Print what you want, and want what you print. I mean, that's what I would say, because, when I first joined Wicked, it was one of the first Patreons I ever joined. I started printing everything, printing and painting all of their stuff. And then I think that at the time it was like 2 or 3 models a month. And then it became 4 or 5, and 5 or 6, then 6 or 8. And now it's like up to 10 or 12. So it's like, whoa, just, you know, a choice overload, like somebody just said in the comments, that it's way too much to really bear. And that would make you feel overwhelmed. So, you know, I would say, stick with what you really want, but don't pressure yourself into printing everything. I think even Jerry was on here one time and he made a great comment that said, don't try to get out there and print everything first before everybody else. So that's another
Right.
mistake to avoid. When something comes out in a Patreon or something like that, everybody just rushes to print it out. And if it doesn't look as good as somebody else's or whatever, if the print didn't come out as great as you wanted it to, it could frustrate you. I mean, I've been a part of that too, where I printed out something and it's like, oh man, I look at somebody else's online and it's like my print just looks like, doesn't. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I've got prints on the floor and I just knocked something over. That's the problem. Corey Wright, thinking you'll have the space for all your prints or printers. That's a thing. That is absolutely a thing.
Yeah. So Corey is right because I'm facing that problem right now. I can tell you that my collection room, I spent a lot of time today. I spent several hours since this morning clearing out statues and moving my shelves to the wall and everything. If you saw my last video, I talk about, me updating my collection room, and it's such a mess right now. And while I made a lot of space and made a lot of progress on it, I'm still looking back. I'm going, holy crap! Well, how did I come up with all this stuff?
How did I amass all of this?
How did I amass all this? Because I took I've been collecting Punisher collectibles since like 1986, and I boxed all that up, so it's all in boxes. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking like all of the statues, all the prints and stuff that I've got, and I haven't even really taken anything out of this room that I'm in. So, absolutely. I mean, if you think that you have all the space for your prints and printers, think again. I mean, that's something really.
My
Oh, gee, what is
granddaughter's in
that?
the emergency room. She
Oh my goodness!
she was playing flag football and she got her fingers hung up in a kid's belt loop and
Ouch!
and broke these two fingers.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I hope
My
she
son
be
just
all right.
messaged me and I was like, "Oh man,
Oh, geez! Wow. Well, hope she's going to be all right.
that's flag football in Little Rock for you."
Jeez, physical
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So, so yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. So let's see here. Philip says parts for printers are getting harder to get, i.e., LCD screens for like Elgato Saturn. Um, I kind of agree with that because I've seen a lot of posts where people have said that they're still waiting on parts to come in. I'm thinking probably because they're selling so many printers, and I mean that's what I would like to think. I don't know. I haven't heard of any type of production downturn or anything like that on these parts, so it's kind of hard to say. Mike says, "Print her a cast."
I'm not printing her a cast. She already gets enough of my crap. I print
Oh,
some cute
geez.
stuff around here, and she comes to visit, and then she takes it all home with her.
Oh my goodness. So I hope hopefully she'll be all right.
Yeah,
So
she'll be all right. She's tough.
So I mean, mistakes. Oh, geez, let's talk about. So we talked about patrons. We talk about like things like picking out your printer, not doing enough research. I would say another big mistake that people make is exploring the right settings. So I mean, I would say that that's probably one of the biggest things that really frustrate people is because they get on a printer and they just wham, just throw it all up there, start printing right away. They don't have the right setting. They really didn't do anything, you know. And a lot of times they're messaging me going, hey man, help me out. I can't get this thing to print right. And so, then you start a whole thread of, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And I've actually had people tell me like, oh my God, I didn't know this was that much work to get into to really to get this thing to print. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it takes some research, takes some know-how and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I don't know if it's my speakers or your audio. You keep cutting in and out.
I don't know. Is everybody hearing me okay?
It's just like going soft and you may just be blocking your mic or something.
It's
Um,
probably.
Chuck, no, as long as you've got a printer that will, I mean, a computer that will run um, the slicer software, you're good. Unless you're going to try to start sculpting, then you need something
Right.
high powered.
Well, let me see here. My mouse just died on me. I think. There we go. All right. So let's
It
see here.
wasn't doing it all the time. It was just every now and then, just like in and out.
It's probably my mic here. I got it kind of away from me a little bit. So this isn't the ideal setup that I have here right now. Once I get this room all situated and everything, then it'll be a lot better. I mean, I will be able to actually hardwire myself, and I won't have this stupid backdrop right here. So that's one thing that I'm working on for this collection room as well, is because I'm trying to get it to where I can actually make my videos a little bit more, you know, inviting and stuff like that in there too. So let's see here. Philip says buying a cheap FDM printer and then spend more on upgrades than the cost of the printer. Did that twice with the Wanho i3 Plus. That's true. So I've seen that's a lot where people will go out and they'll uh, they'll upgrade the hot end or something like
They'll
that.
buy
Or
an Ender 3 for, well, back when I was starting out with when the Ender 3 was the only thing available, they'd
right,
buy an Ender 3 and then for like, what were they, 199 or 299,
something
and
like
then
that.
they would
Yeah,
spend $300 in upgrades. And I'm like, why? You just bought the same thing I bought for $500, and it's twice the size.
yeah. So I mean, that's one thing that I didn't get into. I mean, when I bought the Ender 3, I mean, like even right now in the CR10 that I got right here right now, they're all stock. I didn't make any type of adjustments to them or anything like that. I just didn't feel a need to. But there was people out there, man, they were souping it up. It was like taking a car and putting some 24-inch rims on it.
All of my stuff is stock.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
so
I got Capricorn tubes, but other than that,
I, I
everything
just
everything's stock.
I just never did that. I mean, I've seen people like print out stuff for their printer, which is cool, and do all kinds of lighting and stuff like that on. I just never got into that. So, I mean, so when you get into it, I mean, just don't make that mistake. I mean, like you said, just do your research and find out all the features that you need or that you want, and just get them all in one fell swoop instead of buying a stock printer and figuring, oh well, I got to add this, I got to add that. So
But in that same instance, just because everybody else is adding all that crap
doesn't mean
doesn't
you have
mean
to.
you have to.
Right, right.
Um, there are Ender 3s. Paul Feeney, I'm going to bring him up again, but 99% of his stuff he's printing on an Ender 3 that is stock.
Yeah,
So you can't say you have to upgrade an Ender 3 to make it print
yeah.
good prints. It's
It's just having that
just
new
because
shiny thing.
everybody else is doing it, let's do it thing
Yeah,
is you don't have to do that.
yeah. And that kind of goes. That kind of doubles with that whole thing of, a new model comes out from a patron, everybody's got to print it, so you do too. So
Yeah.
don't make that mistake. Don't fall into that trap. I mean, that's something that a lot of us do, and we just. I mean,
I
just
run so far behind. I'm like just now getting ready to paint the Moon Knight model from Wicked. So
I have it
yeah,
printed back here. I've had it printed for like 4 or 5
mine's
months.
been printed. It's just not been painted. The
I,
only one that I do that is Megan, because usually he'll have me do the print and paint for his Kickstarter campaigns.
yeah,
So those are the only ones that I print um, before anybody else. But
yeah,
yeah, and one of the bad things about doing that is I will paint something, um, and then everybody will start showing their things that they're painting. I'm like, oh, I should have done it like that. Completely different color scheme or whatever, and let everybody put their stuff up, and then find what you like and
right,
print and paint it.
right. So that's one thing too that I just really didn't get into, especially when painting. I have a paint scheme in mind, and I know what I'm gonna paint, and what if somebody does something totally different and very cool or whatever like that, it looks great, then more power to them. But I have something in my mind, and I'm gonna do it that way. So I mean, that's kind of a painting mistake, not a printing mistake.
Yeah,
But
that's.
but
I
just
didn't want to get off onto the painting thing.
yeah, I mean
Um,
that's one of those things that it kind of go hand in hand. I mean, just don't do what everybody else is doing. Do what you want to do,
yeah,
and I think that's yeah. So I mean that's definitely a couple other mistakes I think that people make. Well, let me see here. Oh, he wants to know if I bought an ultrasonic cleaner yet. I have not, but I'm going to. Anyway, a couple of other mistakes I think people that they probably make is like when it comes to resin. I think that they just brush over the manufacturer's specs and don't look at it at all, and they just kind of want to just do their own thing. I mean, I'm one of them. I'm totally guilty of that. Like if I get a bottle of resin and stuff, a lot of times I don't even look at the specs on it or whatever. But I think when you're first starting out and you're unsure what settings are, what works best or anything like that, I think that that's something that you really have to do. I think you have to probably put two and two together, go with what the printer suggestive settings are for a certain resin or whatever, and then look at the resin settings and stuff on the resin itself, because without that,
agreed.
I mean, you're flying blind a lot of times. I mean, if you've been doing it for a while, like you and I have, that's a different thing. Because
Yeah,
like I mix a lot of resins together and everything like that. I don't waste anything. But for somebody starting out, I think it's important that they really look into those settings and take their time with them, and also explore what other people are using on their machines. But
agreed.
don't. Another big mistake is don't think that their settings are necessarily going to work for you. Like one of my last videos, I did a universal settings that I use, and I specified in there this is something like a starting point for you. It might work for you, it might not, but it's something I use for all my printers. So there's a different situation, there's different circumstances, because like I will have like where I have my printer set up, like I have a consistent climate, a consistent temperature, things like that. I do what works for me. Whereas some people will ask me, hey, will these settings work for my printer? It's sitting in a garage. Like, probably not.
Yeah, it's sitting in a garage where? In Florida, in
Yeah,
Michigan, in Mexico, in Alaska. That's I get that a lot. What are your settings?
right. I
Me telling you my settings aren't going to give you anything because it's humidity, it's temperature, it's elevation, it's
yeah,
it's everything. And when I see people, I see this a lot on Reddit. Um, they'll they'll somebody new will say, "I can't get this printer to print. What do I need to do?" Well, somebody will say, "Your exposure time needs to be 1.8. Your lift needs to be this." And I'm like, how can you say this? Are you his neighbor? Do
yeah,
you have a printer in his exact same? Or you have a printer in his house? Because you can't give somebody that information,
right.
and that's where people give up, is because they get this information and they try to make that work, and it doesn't work for their printer, or it might, but they have failure after failure after failure, and then they give up because they don't. They think this person told them how it's supposed to be. Well, it must be something wrong with the printer.
Yeah. I mean, I generally try and help people out by giving them some type of
Hang on, Pam.
to try to give them some type of universal settings that I work with that work for me, and something you can kind of start by. But I ask
And
questions
printer work
with them.
test.
Yeah, and I asked them questions like, where do you have your printer set up? What do you have it near a vent? What's the humidity like? What's the temperature like? I mean, so things like that. I mean, because I try to help people, but if you're kind of in a situation to where, oh man, my printer's in the garage, it's 35 degrees outside, and I can't print anything. Well, duh,
I wouldn't be able to print anything either.
you're not going to get anything. FDM or resin. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's something that you can't make that mistake with, and thinking that somebody's settings is going to work for you all the time. They may work for you sometimes, but again, it depends on the situation around what you're printing, because there's all kinds of debacles that could be thrown into the mix or whatever like that. And I get that on my Discord. Some people are, I try this settings or whatever, and then we'll try and troubleshoot it. But I don't go, oh, do this right here. This will work. But I'll try to help.
Here's what you need to do.
Here's what you need to do. And if you don't, then you're piss out of luck. But it's one of those things where it's you got to be patient. And that brings me up to another mistake. People are not patient. I want this thing to print. I want a big giant monstrosity Spider-Man printed out now.
I want it now.
I want it now. Well, let me tell you something. When you get into these bigger printers, and you know this, it is slow.
Yep.
It is slow to print.
18 hours.
18 hours.
18 hours on a head.
On a head. So I had printed. I'm working on this second part of this Bad Night for the Ninjas diorama, and so I printed just one piece. The Wolverine base is comprised of 3 pieces. The center piece was 27 hours, and I had 2 failures on it.
Oh my God!
So you can imagine how pissed I was. And it's just. It happens. I mean, you're not immune to failures. And I mean, I printed on a printer that I had been printing this Lenant deck here, which has a huge, big ratio of successful prints and everything. So it's one of those things that's going to happen, and you got to learn some patience. If you don't, that's going to be your downfall right there.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well, if you start out FDM printing and then go to resin printing, you're already going to know patience.
Oh, yeah. You will.
Because FDM is like 3 times as long.
So Philip says, been printing one model for 3 weeks, 24/7, 50% on the base only. Lord of the Rings Wicked diorama. Yeah, that thing is a monster. That's all you had to say.
I don't think I've even seen that.
Oh, you got to see it. That is a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Kind of been on a Facebook hiatus lately.
Oh, geez. I mean, it's and at 1/6 scale where it's scaled at out of the file, that thing is like 4 feet long. It's
I need to look at that because I'm a huge.
So it's crazy. So Frag, he's still painting that damn printing that damn Magneto. He is doing it in 200%, I think.
Oh so my God!
It's like 1/3 scale, and so he's on my Discord, and he hasn't been very active on the Discord. Shame. You need to post some pictures of that Magneto, my friend. But I mean, it's pretty good size. It's pretty good size print. So, man,
there was a thing that we missed.
What did we miss?
Did we answer Sergeant Digital Design?
Let's see.
Change the LCD and now it's trash.
So he says, I'm having trouble with the Flash Forge printer. I changed the LCD and now it's printing trash. I have never used a Flash Forge printer. Have you?
No.
I would say that's one of those things that you may probably reach out to me. Am I?
Yeah.
Well, let me see here. I would probably say that's one of those things where you probably need to reach out to the manufacturer and see what they say.
Well, when you say printing trash, you're not literally printing a garbage can with trash in it. So, like, more details. Is it printing anything? Or is it printing supports? Is it printing...
Yeah. Throw some specifics on here in the comment section, and let's see what exactly you might be experiencing here. All right.
1.2 meters long and 1.2 high. My gosh.
Yeah. 8 kilos of FDM filament so far. Geez, that's a lot. And I thought I printed a lot of big stuff. Oh my God.
I keep saying I want to print. I've got Luban, and so I want to make a model. I'm thinking like maybe a Pokemon that I want to do it like 1,000% so I can put it out in my yard. but I don't really know what I want to do. I want to do a huge model.
Yeah. So Chris over at It's Mead Made did a full size Bulbasaur.
Oh, now see, I can't do a
Yeah.
Pokemon. That's why
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I'm one that I don't want to follow. There's so many right now that are doing big models. Let's do huge models. Everybody do a huge model. That's why I don't really want to do a huge model right now, but I want to do a huge model. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Said my audio is still cutting in and out. I don't know why this.
I don't want to look like I'm following a lemming. I don't want to look like a lemming, but I want one.
I know that Uncle Jesse has been doing that Magneto, which is his full size Magneto. Have you seen that thing yet?
I saw some of them, and I miss a lot of videos.
Yeah, that thing is ridiculous too. Let's see. He says it's his last one he'll buy. They're helping. It's jelly. When I do a test print, looks like a blown up stamp. Wow, that's pretty wild. So
I
yeah,
guess I can't get a visual on that. I mean, the jelly I can get. That sounds like resin issue. That sounds like a.
I'm assuming it's a resin printer.
No, I don't print minis. 1/6, 1/4 scale.
Yeah, see, yeah, he said, seen a guy on TikTok printing a 1/1 Arbiter. Yeah, that's a Galactic Armory, I think, is who that is. I think that's a. I'm trying to fix this microphone here.
Oh my gosh, Philip. Yeah, you got some time on your hands, man.
Philip is the full size guy.
He's what?
He's the full size guy. He's doing all kinds of. I mean, look at this. He's got a life-sized R2D2 and iron. Jesus.
A life-size BB-8. How cute would that be?
That is pretty neat. I think I've seen a couple of people in Star Wars groups that have done the R2D. I've seen one guy that did a C3PO that was actually fully like automated and everything. He spent like a year and a half doing it, and he put all the electronics in it and everything. It looked really, really nice.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's somebody who has more patience than me.
Well, one of these days, once I get everything together with this room and get all this stuff situated or whatever, then I'm going to be hopefully doing a live. Not exactly sure yet, but yeah, I definitely want to. I want to tackle that one day. I haven't studied Luban a lot, so I don't know much about it. Pretty much all I've been using is Mesh Mixer. So, but yeah. Let's see what everybody else.
I use Luban a lot for cutting.
So yeah, CPO is printed, but he has to put it together. So he's done that one too. Oh man.
Golly. So Philip is the guy that I need to get in touch with when I want to start printing something big for corners.
I mean, if he's, I tell you what, if he's had such some success with everything that he's printed so far and everything, he's definitely somebody to look after. To give some pointers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably be hitting you up, Philip, so just letting you know, buddy. One of these days.
Get ready.
Yeah. So other common mistakes, I mean, man, there's all kinds of stuff that you could really just attribute to a mistake once you get into printing and everything. I think the biggest thing that I would say is to use your head, use common sense when printing, and do your research and be a sponge and soak up everything, every bit of knowledge that you can, and just do it right and take your time. I mean, it's not a race. I mean, you can get some really good stuff or you can waste a hell of a lot of money, depending on, whether or not you have the patience to do these sort of things or you just trying to rush it or whatever, and not everybody's a painter. So, I mean, there are some other things that you can do to accentuate your model, paint it or whatever like that rub and buff, method. There's all kinds of zenithal type stuff, paint that you can use. So again, it's just think it out, man. That's all it is.
Don't pigeonhole yourself to one person,
Yeah.
one machine, one way of thinking.
So he says, MM Crew says, I want to grab a GK2 machine. You forgot the name, but funds ain't all there. But I have a Mono X intercreality. Is there a limit for big prints?
Nope.
There really isn't. I mean, there are programs out there in order to help you cut up the model and print it in smaller pieces. I've done that quite a bit. I have a Galactus over here sitting in the floor still that I've got to finish that I used a lot of the Ender 3 Pro for. So I use Mesh Mixer to cut up some of these pieces and everything and glue them together. So,
Oh, I lost a print, but I was going to show you. I am Charles Aguias. Is it Charles? Did a Naraya Guardian of Time model.
okay.
And I think the model he put out was 1/10 scale.
Yeah.
But I sized her up and I cut her in Luban and I printed on the GK2. What the heck did I do with that model? It's just her head with this big headpiece, and it's like huge. It's like 2.5 feet across.
Wow. Holy
but
crap.
I cut it in Luban, and it's so much mechanical looking stuff on it. You can cut it, and Luban will automatically make the keys for you.
Yeah, I've seen that. And so it'll actually hollow out the model too, to where you won't have to have all that infill and stuff, correct?
Right.
Because I think that's what I saw Uncle Jesse do was when he did this Magneto, it looked like it was kind of hollowed out and it just basically printed the perimeter of the piece, and did a little bit of infill on that. But yeah, that's is that something that you just like a program, like a subscription service you have to buy it, or is it like a free version?
Luban?
Yeah.
I got a 1-year license on something. I don't know. For some reason, I got a 1-year license. But if you want to just buy the program outright, it's $60.
Really? Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, and there's so much stuff that you can do with it. I make a lot of those LED lights. You take a name and you can make a box, and then you print the bottom half, and then you print the part that inserts into it, and you just fill it up with LEDs, and it makes an LED name light. It's so cool looking, and it does it all for you. You can make a box from anything.
That's cool.
There's so much cool stuff. But
yeah, I mean, the technology is out there, man. By the way, Philip just sent me pictures of his R2D2, his Stormtrooper, Iron Man, and his BB-8, and they look awesome.
Oh, I bet. That's
yeah,
cool. It's $300 now, Frag. Wow, Luigi's making his money.
Jeez, $300 for a program. Well, I mean, people are using it, so I mean, it's supply and demand. I mean, I guess he could pretty much pay whatever he wants. Wow. So let's see here. Randy has a question. What are some of the tricks for keeping your printers consistent? Frankly, I'm always having issues every few prints where it goes from needing no assistance to not printing without rafts, tape, etc.
I have never once used tape or glue or hairspray on my printers.
Really?
There are people who say, "Oh, you got to use tape. Oh, you got to use glue." No, you don't. If you're printing with PLA, if it's leveled right, you don't have to use anything on either side, on the glass side.
I've used hairspray. No, I've done that before because I got to the point to where I wasn't getting any. I know the bed was leveled. I knew the extruder was not clogged or anything like that, and I just could not for the life of me. I got a brand new bed for it and everything like that, on top of it, and it just for the life of me would not stick. Sprayed a little bit of hairspray and it stuck like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I mean, but other than that, I haven't printed any FDM prints in a long time. I have a Galactus base I have to finish up. I think I got like one more piece because I smashed one. Anyway, I've got to redo it. But it's a 37-hour print, so I'm not in a rush to
Yeah.
print that thing. And this old CR10 here is noisy as hell. Oh man, it's noisy.
I
But
I try to do most of my bases in FDM just because I can start the base and start the print, and I'm gonna have the base done before I have the full model done. So
right,
and I got a crap ton of filament, so I might as well just let that go, let that print. But as far as keeping your printers consistent,
I
if
would say
you're
temperature. Keep a good temperature. Keep a consistent
yeah,
temperature.
if always just check your belts, check everything like you normally would. Um, do as I say, not as I do,
Right,
because
right.
that CR10 V2 it's just been like a freaking workhorse. I've never changed the belt. I've changed the nozzle, and that's
Yep.
it. Um,
I I would say that you definitely need, especially more so on your FDM printers than a resin printer, you definitely have to do some maintenance. You have to tighten up stuff every now and then. You have to tension your belts and all kinds of stuff. So I would definitely say that. But man,
Also, make sure, like I print with a, not print, but I sit in here with a fan all the time because I'm an old woman and I get hot. And but if that
wrong
fan
old.
was blowing where it was circling around the room over there, I would be having adhesion issues
Yeah.
or layer, not shifts, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Layer, yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Because air will do that. So like
Yep.
fans, your heating and air conditioning vents, if they're blowing at it or even
That'll
around
definitely
it,
screw
just
everything
a
up. Yeah.
little bit of a draft can mess up your prints.
Yeah. So what do you think about these people that use these enclosures with their FDM printers? Or do you think those are beneficial?
I would love to have an enclosure so I could print with some ABS.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than for ABS, for the toxic fumes, why would you need an enclosure unless you were like parking it next to a fan, I guess, maybe.
Right. So here's a question that I have.
Separation, yes.
So Frax
No,
says he wants an FDM, but he can't justify $2,000 for a Prusa
I will
XL.
never justify $2,000 for a person.
Right.
The name.
So
It's
let
buying
me
Nikes.
let me ask you, what is the difference between a Prusa versus just like a Creality or an Elgu?
Nothing.
I mean, if anybody in the comments could tell me, because I have seen, Uncle Jesse did his last video. He bought this Prusa. I think it was garbage, and I think he said he paid like $1,300 for it, and it had like a tiny build plate. Um, that's
Yeah,
they're like, I mean, is
they
it? I
all
mean,
melt filament and they all use a nozzle to lay it down like this. And
yeah,
you can have a Prusa or you can have a whatever is the cheap thing out there now.
yeah. I mean, I know Joseph Prusa is a well-respected name, in printing and everything like that. Apparently, the guy's got a lot of knowledge, but I can't just. I've seen some of these Prusa printers, and I seen one that was like $2,800, and it was like a 300 by 300 by 200 build plate, and I'm going, what in the hell that makes this thing so special? And
The
I get
customer
it.
service.
The
If it's a good
customers
printer, why do you need the customer service?
exactly. Ding ding, right on the. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, if you have a good printer, you probably don't need the customer service as much as you think you do. But I will say that man, it's yeah. A lot of people are saying that it's just like you pay for the brand. It's like having, like you said, maybe Nikes versus
Yeah,
versus
buying Nikes over Walmart shoes.
right, right. I can't justify something like that. Yeah,
Jerry, don't
Jerry.
even get me started on that bamboo.
Yeah, Jerry. So I hear a lot of mixed reviews about this printer too. The Bamboo X1 Carbon. Uh, I heard it's good. I heard it's great, and then I heard it's total and utter crap. I mean, Jerry, let me know what is the scoop on this. I mean, I've seen people get some
They go
really neat
fast.
stuff. What's that?
They go fast.
Is that it? I mean, I could care less about fast. I know they have the one that prints the multiple filament colors, but again, I'm not a big FDM printer. So, I mean, until they get a resin printer that prints multiple colored resin, I'll leave that. I'll leave that to the FDM printers.
I
And I
just
don't think,
posted a video on how to do that.
yeah, your tie-dye butterfly. You got to show that to everybody.
I've got two of them. I've got one that's
Cool. And all that is just, adding resin to a tank
and not stirring it up.
and not stirring it up. Right. Get you some Neapolitan flavor there.
That's right. That's outdated Area 1 resin in white, cyan, and magenta. I bought 100 bottles for like $2 each.
Yeah. So Mr. Wolf says, I got 2 Bamboo X1Cs. They're great, but you can do good with cheaper too. So what do one of these things retail for?
Oh, awesome, Philip. Thank you. I think I'm a little bit salty with the Bamboo because when it was on Kickstarter, I was like this close to buying it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. And now I think I'm just pissed at myself that I didn't buy it. So now I have to boycott it.
So you have to justify that
So now I have to justify being mad about
just okay.
it's not a good printer. It's not a good printer.
It's not a good printer. It's not. It's really, damn it, I should have bought it. It's not good. It's really not good. Damn it.
Right, exactly.
$1,600? Yikes. Ouch. $1,600 for one of those. That's insane.
They were what, $425, I think, on Kickstarter, $495.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
The X1C, Wolf says, is $11.99. The P1P is $6.99. Okay, that's bringing it back down to reality a little bit, but that's still, I mean, wow. That's crazy. I know I am still waiting for this Elegoo Neptune Max to get back into stock. I would like to have that thing because I do want to start printing some cosplay stuff. But right now, I've got too much. I've got to worry about getting everything situated first before I start bringing in other printers. So anyway, I got this. Oh my God, I got this Frozen Sonic Mega 8K. This thing is it's the size of a refrigerator, man. And I'm like, oh, that's pushing it a little too much for me. So I've got to back off getting printers and stuff now. And
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot more people getting into the laser engravers. I know Elegoo just released one. I'm curious about those, but I don't need one right now. I don't want to burn my house down because when you start mixing me with fire, stuff that engraves and has fire coming out, it doesn't bode well. So I will not do that.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I love my engravers, but I just don't have anywhere to put them right now. So
yeah. So I think that's a mistake that I am avoiding is taking in everything that a lot of these sponsors, you get sponsors too that want to send you stuff. And I'm actually getting a little bit more selective. I get like messages pretty much every day of people wanting to send me stuff. And I'm like, hold on, because I got too much as it is.
Yeah. That right there is a Geetech Mizar S that I got before the Mizar S even came out.
Yeah.
It's still in the box that they never got their video. So I'm sure they're good and pissed off at me. No space, first of all, no time, no really motivation.
Yeah. You gotta get motivated, girl.
I know. I know.
We gotta see another video from you soon on your channel. I know you'll get there.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's not really motivation. If I could have somebody
So let's see here.
do the filming for me and somebody do the editing for me, then I would post a video a week. I'd post 3 videos a week.
I wish I had an editor, but
it's so much.
Yeah.
Because to be able to post your shorts, your TikToks, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Reddit videos, You
Yeah.
have to video
It takes a
this
lot of
way.
time.
In order
Yep.
to do your YouTube, you have to do this way. So every little thing that you do, you've got to shoot it twice, then you've got to edit it twice.
Right.
And it's just just a
I
lot.
can't. It's been about a week or two since I posted anything on TikTok. I mean, just because I've been cooped up with my day job and plus working here at home and doing everything that I'm doing to this room, I'm really focused on getting that done. And I haven't really posted a really good video for, I mean, like a paint video, excuse me, a paint up video for the YouTube channel in a little bit because again, it takes time. I mean, you spend a lot of people don't realize that you can spend a week or two just painting a piece, and that's just painting it. That's not filming it and editing it and putting there all the final
Yeah.
steps on it and everything like that. It could take a little bit, but yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. I wish I had an editor.
I want to try filming the way you do, because to me, I think that would be easier to just film snippets rather than having a 5-hour video
Yeah.
total to have to cut down to 15 or 20 minutes.
So
That's
I'll
so
tell you.
hard.
I'll tell you this. What I generally do is there's no way to film every single little thing that I do on a model. There's just absolutely no way, because you would have, like I said, like a week or two of footage that you would have to go through, and that's just ridiculous to sit there and edit and go through all that stuff. But what I do is I focus in on areas that I think people can probably pick up something off of and learn something from, or like a technique that I'm using that I just. But if I've gotten to where, like, if I'm printing a piece or if I'm painting a piece, just one big solid color, I don't have to show that. I mean, I just let people know what I
Yeah.
did and just say, oh, after painting this, I've done X, Y, Z. We're going to move on to this now.
Yeah.
But I think there's certain steps or whatever like that people would want to hear that I do. So, I mean, yeah, man, if you were to sit there and have a camera in your face, first off, we would have to bleep a lot of stuff out.
I know.
This beep, 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 beep thing, and I'm going to
realize.
Oh my God.
My channel has been completely different from anybody else because, like, if you'll notice my older videos, I've got like a series, like 1 through 5,
Yeah.
on painting. We'll say Medusa, which I didn't do her that way, but doing the skin tone, doing the base, doing the this, doing the this, doing this, because I was literally sitting with this camera filming the whole time I'm painting. So then I've got all of this footage that I've got to edit down, and you don't realize how much you say things that are going to get you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And how many times I say or so. My God, it's like so. Now we're gonna.
Yeah, I think the word "so" is like every other word in my vocabulary sometimes. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So yeah, another thing. I mean, we'll kind of backtrack a little bit, but on this, and I think one of the other mistakes that a lot of people make too when they get into printing is that they're going to get rich off of it. Just because you got a printer and just because you got an Etsy account or whatever like that does not mean that you're going to make 50 grand a month or whatever like that off of selling models on there.
No.
So, I mean,
don't get that twisted though. You can make
some good money.
Those 2 that I showed you before we started, I'm making $1,400 off of that.
That's good.
But
how much of your time is it taking though?
Well, if you really want to count how much I've actually paid.
See what I'm saying?
It's I mean, I probably don't have 25 hours in them, but here's the thing with that. You can make good money. You can make good money doing that. But when you make good money doing that, you're printing and painting crap that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
It's not what you want to print and paint. So then it becomes a job. And I've been there and done that with this decal business that I did for a long time. I had vinyl graphics and all of this stuff. I bought myself a plotter and just a bunch of crap that I didn't need because the demand was so high. Then it became a job, and I didn't like it anymore. So now I don't do decals anymore. I don't do any of that crap because it became a job, and I didn't like it. I don't want this to become a job because I love painting.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
Philip,
do very few commissions. That
yeah, Philip says that when you do the cost, it gets paid so little, like $5 an hour to paint. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do any of that stuff, any commissions, is because it's just not worth it to me. I think that when you start doing this and it becomes more like a job, then it takes the fun out of it, and you
Yeah.
just get frustrated and you just move along.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of my YouTube thing. The editing became like a freaking job.
Right,
I gotta
right.
get it
I can
edited
see
because
that.
I gotta get it uploaded on Friday. And
Yep.
then it's like something in my head switches, and
Yeah.
it's like, don't do it no more.
Right, right. Well, it just takes the fun out of it, you know. And I just kind of got over that little bit of slump that I was in because I got to where I was printing stuff and I didn't find myself. I didn't make myself enough time to paint something. So I kind of got just like frustrated, and then I said, you know what, I'll print instead. It's quicker, it's easier. So that's that's a mistake I think that people can you know can take in and learn from too. Is when you print something, paint it, and then move on to the next.
Yeah.
I did not. I don't do that.
No.
So and I wish I
Boxes.
and I wish
Boxes
I
of crap.
did. I wish I did. Like my wife just posted on here. There's a fine line where it goes from being fun to being
That's right.
an obligation. Yeah, she's right. But I just I haven't printed anything in a little bit because I'm focused on getting this room situated. And to be honest with you, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but I really haven't been focused on making videos right now because I want to get this room done to where I can focus on making videos. It'll be fun for me to do it then.
Yeah.
Because like right now, I'm in a situation where this room here is. First off, I had to get this room emptied. My son's moving back in the house in August, and I have to do this. This is something. This is not what I want. I mean, it's what I want to do, but I have to. So I'm focused on getting that done. And then once I get the room all situated, it's more comfortable, more inviting. I think people will like it better. And then it's going to be something to where I want to do this. It's kind of, I think it's going to, it's actually already started kind of rejuvenating me a little bit and motivating me, give me a little kick in the ass to get videos done because I like doing them. I mean, I like doing videos. I like helping people. I like painting. I like printing. I like doing all that stuff, and I like collecting. And but I don't want to do it under the circumstances that I'm in right now, where it just feels like I'm cramped, and like I don't have much to work with or much area of an area. So I definitely can see more videos in my future, better videos in my future. So.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to be done with YouTube because I love, I guess, the whole, and I'm not ever one to toot my own horn. I just happened to find out that I could paint.
Right.
But if I can do something and paint and make somebody else see that it's this easy, or help somebody else that is trying to figure out how to paint this or do it, how to do it, then I love that part of it.
Yeah.
Because I love helping people. I don't know. It's the helpful part of it that
Right.
I can't talk.
It's all right. So Philip has a good question. Do you make any funds from posting videos?
TikTok, yes. I'm not good enough on YouTube yet.
I will say this. By no means, even with, I just passed 13,800 subscribers today. And I can tell you right now, I don't make whatever I make from YouTube, it's very minimal, and it's not like woo, breaking into big bucks, because pretty much whatever I make, I spend right back into the channel. Actually, I lose money every month because of making videos, spending money on resins, things like that, supplies. You know, there's things that that we have to go out and buy, like gloves and paper towels. There's paintbrushes, there's paint, all kinds of stuff, and a lot of the stuff is not sponsored. This is stuff that you actually, like for example, if I didn't have my Patreon, I couldn't make a lot of these videos because paint costs $3-4 for a little pot of it. You got to replace brushes. Like I have to buy a new UV light. Mine just went out. There's all kinds of stuff that you have to get in order to make these videos. This isn't something like someone sits in front of you and goes, "Hey, we have a statue unboxing here. I just got this from Prime One Studios. Take a look. Ooh, isn't it pretty?"
Yeah.
So it's a little more to it, because at that point, you're sitting in front of a camera doing this. You're not doing something artistic, I guess you could say. Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. But there are things that you have to replace. So in hindsight, you really don't make any money. Now, if you're a big dog in it, like a 3D printing nerd, Uncle Jesse, or somebody like that, then yeah, I'm sure that they probably make it. I think these guys do this for a living. So it really changes the dynamic of what you do and how much you get out of it. But I think at some point, I mean, I would like to be that big, but I don't think I would ever quit my day job because of the whole not knowing of what's going to happen.
Right.
You
could fall out of it at any time.
Right. And I don't want to be in that sort of thing. So as far as making funds, yeah, you make a little bit once you get up there, but it's very minimal. Now, one thing that I do is I do affiliate marketing through Amazon. I make a little bit off of that. I don't make anything off of TikTok. I haven't made the first penny from TikTok. I haven't made the first penny from Instagram. So pretty much only thing that I make is off my Patreon, a little bit off of YouTube, and a little bit off of my affiliate link. Matter of fact, my affiliate links, I make more off of that than I do off of YouTube, if that tells you anything. So again, whatever I make off of there, it all goes back into the channel. Like I'm going to have to go out and buy a new mic now. This thing is, everybody's telling me it's for crap, but, so Chuck wants to know the G Tool link. Chuck, I have to, I'm sorry to say, but the G Tool has been discontinued and is no longer available through Mr. Hobby. And he's talking about this right here. This thing has
been unavailable for a while.
Yeah, it's been like a godsend to me. But I tell you,
it's your fault, Henry.
It is. Mr. Hobby actually told me that. I asked him about it, and they said, well, we were phasing this thing out to begin with. Now you just wiped out pretty much our whole clearance. So I'm actually working with Mr. Hobby to where they're looking at doing something pretty similar. That's going to be a signature series with something. I'm sorry, my wife just texted me something. But I'm working with them on something for like a signature series, which I'm really excited about because this is like a first. I get to put my stupid name on something. But anyway, Chuck, if you're wanting something that's almost like the G Tool, it's this little thing right here. I got this thing. It's like $20 and I have an affiliate link to it. But it's all UV, or it's all, it's USB rechargeable and everything, and it like fits like a pencil. I mean, and this thing works wonders as far as like.
Isn't that the same?
So I
use this.
What is that?
It's okay.
But mine's wireless. Yours isn't.
But mine is variable speed, and it goes forward and back.
Mine does too.
I can turn this way down, or I can make it go very fast.
But anyway, I've got an affiliate.
Guys don't know about these. These are in the nail salons.
Nail grinders.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and it's $15. Actually, it was like $12.
Would you believe how much stuff from a nail salon that you can use for 3D printing?
Oh,
Seriously, the
don't even get me
the
started here.
the little UV lights that you put your nails under, or whatever.
These
Yeah,
little these
those
little
things are awesome.
sander
Yeah.
thingies.
Yep. And then like the nail polish racks,
Yep.
I use those to hold my paints. I actually bought some from Amazon that actually you put on the wall like on pegboard, and I can't wait to get my pegboard installed in my collection room. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can use from a nail. Who would have thunk
I
it?
said nailed drill, not mailed.
So let's see.
Yeah, I use
Let's see.
those are I can't see them. Those are book racks.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Bookshelves. They just hold like your book facing forward, like they're like for like kids' rooms or whatever, but they're clear and I like them.
So Mr. Wolf says you want to make money, paint a Warhammer miniature every now and then, put Warhammer in all caps in your title.
Oh my God.
You know what I got to, I'm sorry, I'm not disrespecting anybody. I love miniature.
Nice.
I love miniature painting. I really do. I think there are a lot of fanatical artists out there that do awesome work. But I will tell you right now, straight up, the Creative Collective will not become a mini channel. And let me tell you what happens. I go and I do a Warhammer model, whatever it is, and I post it as a Warhammer model. Next thing you know, this is a hypothetical thing, and I've seen it happen. Jamie, you've seen it happen. You wind up getting like 10,000 subscribers and 150,000 views on this video. The next thing that you put out is you're painting Spider-Man. You get 1,000 views. It's all gut loaded. I think it's just inflated numbers. It's not your true viewers, and it's not your true views.
Your true channel.
No. And so when you do that, you're automatically putting yourself up as a mini channel. Because once you get started, you have to keep it up, and I'm not going to do that.
And again, it's the same. And I said I wasn't going to do it so I'm not naming any names, but to me, it's the same as a band selling out.
Yeah.
Because you are not painting what you intentionally. You're not using your channel for what it was intended for.
Right. You're going after views. You're going after revenue and stuff. And that goes back to what I was saying before of, not the not knowing of what's going to happen every month. Because I could do a miniature and I could paint a miniature. It could get 150,000 views. I could get 10,000 subscribers, and that month I could probably rake in a couple $1,000. But the next month doesn't mean I'm going to, because unless I keep it up, then, and I'm not saying that what we post or whatever like that for other stuff or whatever like that is is crap or anything like that compared to the mini thing. But there's a whole there's a whole different culture when it comes to mini painting, statue painting. And I'll say this, statue painting has not even touched the tip of the iceberg yet. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't do it. They don't understand it. They're not into it. It's not the thing. Miniature painting has been around for decades, and there's a lot of people who do it and do it well. And so they don't need me to do it. I mean, they don't need me to paint miniatures.
That's what I was going to say. There are many channels out there that these guys have been painting since they were years old, and they can paint some minis.
Yeah,
I follow them.
Yeah, my wife just said it's engagement chasing, and it's exactly what it is. I mean, you're chasing after views and stuff, and that's not what I want to do on this channel. So I made this channel. It was one of those things that my wife encouraged me to do because I was always painting. I was always learning stuff and everything, and we were talking one day, and she says, I told her, I said, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube channel. And before then, I'll have to confess, I really never watched YouTube. And she's like, well, you should do this, show people how to paint, show people how to print. It's something that you love doing, you're passionate about, and that's what I want to do. And I want to keep it that way. So, I mean, if there's a miniature that I'm just, oh my God, I got to paint this and print it and whatever, then I'll do it. But if I don't want to become, the carrot's being dangled out there, and I don't want, people to perceive the channel as, oh man, he's getting out of statue painting, he's going into mini painting. I don't want to do that.
Here's where I'm kind of like that, where you said, well, if I see a mini that I want, then I'll paint it. What I do is, like with Charles Aguirre, that Naraya Guardian of Time, she started out as a mini for wargaming. And the model he put out is 1/12 or 1/10 scale. What I do,
right,
I print it big, because there are minis out there that are a badass freaking model, but I'm going to scale them up, and I'm going to paint them my way.
So for people like us, that's one thing that we don't need to make a mistake on.
Right.
And that's getting into that trap of, oh man, I've got to paint minis. That mini video just did unbelievable. Oh my God. And I got to do more. I got 100,000 views. I got 10,000 views, 20,000. I just don't want to do that. I would rather put out something that I want to do and it get 3 views versus 300,000.
I'm the same.
I mean, honestly, because eventually, once you keep doing this and you're consistent with it, people will find you, and they will sub to you for the right reasons. They will watch your videos for the right reasons, and if they don't, then if I go for the next 5 or 6 years with 25,000 viewers, I don't care. I mean, as long
with 25,000 viewers, I mean, 1,200 and something, 1,260 or something. And,
so go sub to Jamie's channel, damn it.
And I'm really okay, because normal people that I talk to, not that you're abnormal, Henry, but you're also a influencer.
I'm not. I don't consider myself an influencer.
You know what I mean? You're a YouTuber.
Yeah, I mean,
you post videos. For me, somebody around here that I'm friends with or whatever, I say something about, I only got 1,200 subscribers. 1,200 subscribers! Oh my God! How many?
Yeah.
1,200. That's really a drop in the bucket compared to some of them that have millions of subscribers. He's abnormal. I love your wife.
Thanks, honey. I love you too. You guys are, one of these days, I'm going to get my wife on here. When I get the new room finished, she's actually going to be on a video with me. And you're going to see this lovely woman that just puts up with my crap. Because, I mean, she is, I hear a lot of people say, oh, my wife ain't going to let me print nothing in the house. And she don't, oh, my God, I can't spend money on this, that, and the other, and whatever like that. She don't like what I do. I say
divorce them if they do that.
Yeah, DIVORCE, and my wife is the total opposite. She encourages me. She, she just, she's a nerd like I am, and I'm not saying that in a bad way because that's what we are. But we love the same stuff. We're just artistic people, and we love this. And she loves to see me happy. I love to see her happy, and the only thing that I got to remind her is bring home more flowers every now and then.
I don't like flowers. No, and I take that back. I like flowers, but I would prefer, instead of roses, buy me a rose bush. They don't die.
That's true. Mine are about to bloom as well. I'm a very
frugal, down to earth.
She is too. She's
not a normal woman.
She is too. It's the little things that she likes for me to do for her and everything.
You must have not finished her print.
What's that?
Did you ever finish her Wednesday print? And then she says, "Did you see what Chuck said?"
Let's go back to some more mistakes that we're talking about here.
No, that is a huge mistake. Telling somebody that you will do something. I don't know how many prints I've said, I'll do one for you. I'll print you that. I'll paint you that.
Yes.
And then you never get to it. And that, I think, is a big mistake because you're letting people down.
Yeah. Chuck, damn you. I've actually the Wednesday print here, I've actually got it cured now, so I have to start piecing it together. But I haven't been printing anything, and I have one more piece I have to print for her, and then that is going to be on the top of my list to get finished. So, yes, I'm in the midst of doing it. So absolutely, thanks a lot, Chuck.
Why is my background not?
What's wrong with your background? I see two printers in the back.
No. My borders aren't there.
Your borders? That I'm not sure. I don't know what borders you had.
I've got borders behind my camera. I mean, behind me that are not there. I just noticed that.
That's a mistake, everybody, to avoid. Making sure that your equipment works correctly before getting.
But it's only on your stream.
No, yeah, I don't have anything on here with any borders or whatever.
Very odd.
Very
show
strange.
Up on Jerry's stream because I don't do anything different.
Oh wow. Okay.
Maybe Jerry's got something turned on that you don't.
Maybe Jerry is got his own thing going. I don't know.
Are you? The Lady Death is awesome.
So let's see here. Let's take to the comments here. Let's see. Raphael has something here. If you print a file at large scale, do you scale all parts at the same percentage when parts printed separately?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. I guess that's your question.
Am I reading that right?
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay. He is printed at 140% scale. If I had printed this at 100% and this at 140,
it wouldn't fit right.
He would have a tiny head.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that if you print a file at large scale, all the parts have to be the same percentage, even printed separately. Absolutely. Maybe he's asking that because of shrinkage situations or whatever, and expansion on resin. It's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, you still have to print everything to scale. That's just something you may have to like sand down or file down or whatever like that. I know sometimes when you print stuff at the same scale, like the keys won't fit right in to the pockets like they normally would. But that's something you just kind of have to work through.
Yeah. That's the GK2, Christian.
Yeah, that GK2. You got two of them. Look at you.
I've got two of them.
I'm jelly. I got one. Mia likes you more than me.
Mia loves me. She sent me that, and you can't see the curing thing, but
I do have the curing station and the wash and cure station. I haven't tried those yet.
The Sonic cleaner is pretty freaking awesome, but it holds 7 liters.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So let's see what else everybody has. There you go, Jamie, right here. You just subscribed to you.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you have upcoming, if anything, for TikTok, YouTube, or what? What are your plans for your social media accounts? Let everybody know.
Well, once I finish these commissions that I'm not allowed to, he doesn't want me to do a video on these on her, and I don't know why. Once these are finished, I'm probably going to work on these because they got a lot of just the prints, pulling them off the printer. When I showed that on TikTok, they got a lot of views and a lot of likes. The Last of Us is a big deal right now.
It is, yeah.
I will probably paint these busts.
Will you do a video for those on YouTube? Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys hear it first, right? So go to Jamie's channel, subscribe to her. That way she will do a video on these guys. So
no way I'm obligated to.
No, you're not obligated or whatever. But I can tell you guys, she does a great job with skin tones, with portraits, and everything like that. So you guys will
Yeah.
definitely enjoy her work. So I will go watch her videos, her past videos, and everything. I really like the
Didn't say I couldn't
Flintstone.
show it off.
Yeah,
She is far from done. Um, Still have some really bad lighting going on. Um,
yeah. It's looking good so far. I like the tones. Really good
yeah,
tone.
she still has um, a lot left to be done, and like I went with purple because I like purple. Um, so she's going to.
Okay.
It's a really good model, but um, yeah.
So here's a question. Painting parts separate and then assembling them, do you consider that a mistake, or do you assemble the statue then print it or paint it?
Depends on it depends on what it is.
Yep.
Like these legs are perfect for not
Putting together and then
putting
painting.
together
Right.
before painting.
There's
But now
definitely some models where you have to put them together because there's
Oh,
like
for
gaps
sure.
and stuff that you have to seal up and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, this was two different pieces, but
Okay.
I don't need. If I had done this separately, you would have see the gap, and
Right.
then your skin tone's not going to match up. So, like these two I put together, the legs I wouldn't. Most of the time, I will leave heads off because I would prefer to paint heads where I can hold the head in my MC, where I can hold the head in my hand
Yeah.
and paint. I would much rather have
Yeah.
that.
Whenever I can print and paint in pieces, I'll do that. I much prefer that over,
And a mess.
putting a whole model together and painting the model as a whole. But there's a lot of times where I have to. I mean, so it just really depends on the piece. So Randy has a question here. Do you ever use small rods like wooden dowels as extra support to hold connecting parts together, like drilling or adding a hole to the upper body and neck and putting a rod in for stability? No, I don't.
No.
Um,
I
I
have
don't.
seen I have seen some prints where there was a wicked print that you needed to add a rod just because of how tall the model was. You needed to add a rod up into the leg because there
I know
wasn't
that I know they did the Deathstroke when they first come out, and the Deathstroke was like he was like his leg was kind of going down at an angle, and a lot of people actually added a rod or something like that in there so it wouldn't bend. But
yeah.
I think when you're doing hollow resin prints, you don't really have to do that. I did that same Deathstroke model, and I never added a dowel or anything like that, and it's been well over almost 2 years since I did it, and it's still holding up like a champ.
Sometimes I use two-part epoxy, sometimes I don't.
Yeah,
If it's pieces that I'm putting together before, um, I'll go back to this one again. This is just super glue, but then I also go around with resin. So
yeah,
I'm resin welding. The super glue is just to hold it there until the resin.
yeah,
I feel like you can't get a better bond than welding resin with resin. You're using the
yeah.
same thing it was printed with.
So Randy said that she finds it helpful to the point where I want them pretty much at every connection that won't be a magnet. I don't use many magnets in my
I don't
stuff.
either.
I don't because I'm not selling it or anything like that. I'm not shipping it anywhere. Now, if you're building something for someone and you're having to ship it, I totally get it because you're going to run into fewer problems with shipping breakage and stuff like that. But for me, no. I mean, I even glue my figures to the bases. Ooh, that's scary.
Some I do, some I don't.
That's probably like a forbidden thing there. But I mean, like whenever I have a model that I know that it's going to stay in my possession, and I'll glue everything together. I don't want that crap falling because I mean, there are some instances where the model's stable enough where I won't. The base is big, and I just won't do it. I won't glue it. But most of the time, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll do that. Um,
Some depends on who the sculptor was
right.
because like Mega, this model this 1 foot is the only thing that goes down into the base. But
Mm-hmm.
look how long that key is.
That's a
So
long peg.
I have no worry about this model falling off the base.
Yeah.
But if the key was like this, and it's a 1/4 scale model, I'm going to be a little bit worried about that.
Yeah. Philip said
so
he
I
had
would
some.
probably glue it.
Yeah, Philip said he had some figures break because the leg had too much stress on it, and it broke about 3 months after painting it. Yeah, I mean it really depends, like you said, Jamie. It depends on the sculptor, and it depends on how the design is. Because I've seen some really beautiful figures, but they were engineered like crap. I did a video, and I'm not knocking anybody or whatever like that. I did a video a while back of the Rogue and the Storm. Uh, uh, blah, blah, blah. Uh, it was the jungle scene. I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, I did a video on those two that I did, and probably like a month or two after I set that thing up on the shelf, the figures just kind of started to bend in, and now I had to throw that model away.
Wow.
Because it was just, when I was putting it together, it was just so thin, the connecting points and the keys and everything, and I knew it was going to have problems. So Savage Lands. Thanks, Scott.
I
But
think a lot of the reason why I hollow everything that I possibly
I do
can.
too. Yeah.
But you and I hollow completely different. I hollow about 3 millimeters. So I still have, because I've always had that fear of like a split, or just not being hefty enough to hold up what's above it.
Right. But you cure the inside of your models though with UV though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big difference. So like with me at 1.5 or 1.8 millimeters, you don't have to do that. I mean, it's one of those things where if you cure it, it actually cures pretty much all the way through it. You could stick a UV light up there if you want to, but you really don't need to. Once you start going over the threshold of like 2.5 millimeters, then you should really definitely cure the inside of it to keep it from splitting. And that's one of the reasons why I do it. Plus, I save on resin. I mean, I just want the prints as light as possible. I don't want them to be real heavy or anything like that. So. Fragments stuff is hard to assemble for some reason, and I think it's because of the designs. A lot of times, I put together a couple of his models, and I can see that there was one I had trouble out of, but for the most part, he does some pretty good stuff.
There are several sculptors out there that you do a whole lot of sanding on the keys, or just cut the keys off
altogether.
Just don't fit.
I've done that on a couple of models recently, where I just cut the keys completely off. I mean, they just weren't serving me any purpose. I wasn't going to put a magnet on there anyway, so it didn't make it much of a difference.
And some of them, it's like, why do you feel like you've got to have a key this long for an arm?
I have a piece here. I can't remember who the sculptor is. It's a Punisher piece, and on the foot, I kid you not, I measured it. The key is 6 inches long, and I printed this at a 1/4 scale.
That may be though for stability. If it's on a foot,
it's on a foot, but 6 inches long, and the thing is like it's the size of a quarter. It's perfectly round. It's like a dowel.
You're gonna hollow this model, but you're gonna have a key up inside there.
I'm looking for it here. Give me just a second. I see the piece that I'm looking for. Hold on. I'm going to put my mic down. I'm trying to hold this mic right so I don't this crappy little mic here that I've got. So give me just 1 second.
I thought I had the box for.
Okay, here we go. This is the one I'm talking about, Jamie, right here. Look at this. Look at the size of that. I kid you not. I was not exaggerating when I said about 6 inches long.
You can go beat somebody up and use that thing as a handle.
Stab you in the eye, you know. I'm like, really? I mean, this is.
You can put a gear. You can put a gear in his hip and use that for a crank.
Actually, I can use it as a pipe. Oh man, I'm sorry. I should. Oh my God, I'm going to hell for that one.
Oh no, you're not.
But anyway, yeah, this is when it becomes excessive. So yeah, and this is a foot, this is a leg, and I mean, there's no way. And the other key on the foot is just like this. Beautiful model, well detailed and everything, and it's a Punisher model. And I'm like, I got to chop that thing off. That is redonkulous. I mean, but that's
crazy.
Sculptors out there, modelers who watch this, don't do this crap.
You don't need that. It's overkill. We're just gonna cut it off.
We're just gonna cut it off anyway.
I would have literally cut that off in the slicer.
I didn't know it was going to be like this, really. I mean, I thought I saw it was probably going to be that big in the slicer, and I thought at first I thought I whacked a lot of it off, but I guess not. And it's way too much. It's insane. So I haven't, and I printed that like last year, so I haven't done anything more on it. So, all right. Well, we're an hour and 41 minutes into this. Wow, time flies, right?
Indeed. And for some reason, we got off of the.
I told you we would. So anyway,
3D printing. Don't think that we're going to talk about 3D printing.
Big mistake. So we could talk live stream mistakes. There you go. So anyway, let's kind of synopsis on this right here. There are all kinds of mistakes that you can make, but the top few are when you're getting into printing, do your research. Don't join too many Patreons. Print what you want to print. Want what you want to print. And the other thing is to make sure that you get the printer that you want. So don't go out and buy the first thing because Joe Schmo on his 450,000 subscriber YouTube channel is printing it on this machine. Get what you want. Of course, do your research, look at reviews, look at what everybody's using and stuff, but get what you want. The other thing is look at different kinds of resin and stuff like that to what people are using. I've seen some horrendous stuff out there that I've tried to print with before, and I wind up throwing it away, aka Z-Mud. I know you've tried that before.
My husband loves it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, it is so terrible.
I gave him all I had.
I cannot use that stuff. I never got a successful print using that resin.
Chad, what are you using the Z-Mud on? What printer are you using the Z-Mud on? The GK1. GK1 loves the Z-Mud.
Really? Unbelievable. There you have it, guys. Z-Mud apparently.
Any of that crap. Put it on the GK1 or send it to my husband. He'll use it.
We'll blame Chad. But I mean, there's a bunch of mistakes that you can make. The thing is use your head. Think through everything that you do when it comes to printing and stuff like that.
And don't just listen to one person.
Yeah, don't just listen to just one person, even though if they're a YouTube influencer or whatever like that.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
And patience. Just a little patience.
You're going to get demonetized.
Yeah. Do what?
You're going to get demonetized.
I'm going to get demonetized.
That's copyrighted music.
Oh. Oh my God. You're so right, though. I could see the little YouTube person going,
whoop, yep, there it is. There it is.
It is.
He's copyrighted.
I think you have to use more than 30 seconds of it, right?
Okay.
So I'm safe. So Axel's not gonna. He's not gonna demonetize my video. No, sir.
Copywritten for moves.
No. Anyway, don't let me do my James Brown stuff. I feel good. Anyway, so just have fun with it. So that's another mistake. Don't go into this thinking I'm going to get rich. I'm going to just have fun with it.
Don't go into it thinking you're going to just buy one printer.
Oh, no. No, that was probably that's got to be up there too. Don't get into printing thinking that hey, all I need is just this one printer. I swear, honey, I am not going to buy another printer. I got this GK2 right here.
And then if
What
you
what
have
was
a
that?
husband like mine who was
And,
into it also, we're up at
and what was
17 printers now.
what was that, honey? What's that $800 charge on the credit card? I don't know what that charge is for.
Did
I
you go buy
don't
a new
know.
bag?
Is that a Dewey and Burke on there? What does it say on there? Uniformation, huh? Amazon. I don't know what that's for. That's got to be a mistake. I swear.
Wasn't there a new outfit you were looking at? I saw you looking at. Why don't you go look at?
I saw you looking at that. You look pretty good in it too, now, honey. Let me tell you something.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And go buy it. Go get it.
Oh, that second printer back there. That's Billy Joe Jim Bob's. I mean, I'm making him some
I'm
truck
just holding
parts.
it for him. Just holding it for him. He's just keeping it here.
It wasn't me, honey. I don't know what that's for back there. It was a gift.
gift.
Yeah, they gave it to me. They really did. What's that that meme? They gave it to me. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
There you go. Philip's got it right. It's a surprise for you, honey. That's right. I'm gonna make you.
I was gonna print you all this stuff.
All this pretty stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you get to give it to your mom and your cousin, and oh man. Yeah. Oh, Trevor, here he's got the good one right here. If only I could have as many printers as my wife does bags. Bingo. There you go, partner. Right there. There you go. That's how you defend that one.
Yeah.
But how many Gucci bags you got there, honey? 4? Well, I only got 2 printers. That means I can go out and buy 2 more, right? Okay. It was a gift from Visa. That's what Chuck said.
Gucci bags are expensive, so.
Oh, I know. I used to have, my ex-wife was like, she just loved to have her Dooney and Burks and her Gucci's and my Veer Wang. Man, I can't tell you how I should have bought stock in those companies at one point.
That's a lot of printers. That's a lot of printers.
That's a lot of resin there too, man. Resin's only $25 a pop, $30 a pop. I mean, you're talking about $150 for a bag. You got some making up to do, honey.
Talk. You need to talk.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right, guys. If you have any more questions, post them now. Forever hold your peace. We're getting ready to wrap it up here. It's about 8:44. I know we've been having a blast on here with you, Jamie. I appreciate you coming on here with us tonight.
Well, happy to have me.
My last question, my ultimate question, is Chad feeding the raccoons tonight?
No, I'm feeding the raccoons tonight.
You're feeding the raccoons. Yes. Damn it, I knew it was going to happen.
Feed the raccoons every night.
Every night. So if you guys don't know, Jamie does a TikTok channel, and if you go on there, she actually feeds raccoons and a couple of possums, right?
Possums, yeah.
So
I haven't been live for a while.
You got to go check her TikTok out because that's probably where she's posting everything.
Yeah, the raccoons love me. We have baby possums.
Okay.
Still waiting to see them. I posted a video. You may have seen it.
I don't think I have.
Mama who had possums, babies in her pouch.
Okay.
Marsupials, for people who don't know that, they're same as a kangaroo. The belly on this possum was so big, she had to walk like this.
Oh, man.
I want to see these babies come out of that pouch.
So they're hiding right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I don't know how long they stay in the pouch, but I know once they come out of the pouch that they ride on the mama's back.
I do know that. Yeah. Yeah, we used to see them on my grandpa's farm.
A lot. You're right. My records. They get steak.
What?
Yeah, like if we go to the Longhorn or whatever, and I can only eat like half of my steak, I bring it home for the coons.
Oh, jeez.
They got like almost a whole prime rib the last time we went to Outback because it was not good.
That is crazy. Well, yeah, Outback. Totally. Yeah, we don't do Outback here. No.
I make them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I remember that.
I make them dog food sandwiches.
Ugh.
They get marshmallows. Well, we don't eat dog food sandwiches, but we get canned dog food and put it between the bread and I chop it up. And, yeah.
You know what you have to do now. I know you got names for all the raccoons and stuff. Have you 3D printed bowls with their names on them yet?
No, I buy them bowls at the Dollar Tree because they take off with the bowls.
Oh, they
do. Yes, they do. And they used to buy them cat toys, like the little balls with the bells inside of them. And I thought, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch. I bought like 9, and I put them on a string. They like chomped them and took the bells out and took off with the bells. Dog toys.
You're hearing some jingling out in the woods and going, what the hell is that noise? Oh, it's just them raccoons.
And
they got the bells again.
Swimming pool. And we made the mistake of somebody on my TikTok channel sent me this badass huge dog swimming pool.
Wow.
And it's like super thick, heavy duty, so their claws or whatever won't do anything. And then somebody said, oh, you got to go buy some minnows.
I remember the minnows.
It was a minnow massacre of 2022.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I bought like 4 dozen minnows, put it in the pool. They went around and caught the minnows and bit the heads off.
Bit their heads off. And, yeah, I remember that.
So then there was dead minnows floating everywhere. They wouldn't eat
off with their head. Yeah, oh geez.
Off with their heads.
Off with their heads. Oh
yeah,
my God.
It was not a good. We will not be doing minnows anymore.
No minnows, no more.
The pool will go back out there.
Save the
come and play in it a lot.
Save the fishies. All right, guys, it has been fun. Thank you for being on, Jamie. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Make sure to go over and check out Homemade Jam 3D on YouTube and TikTok. Sub to Jamie's channel. She'll be putting out some stuff here very soon. It was a pleasure having you, ma'am, and hopefully we'll have you back on here again. Everybody, stay safe out there. Get out and create something. Print, paint, repeats. And until the next live stream, everybody, we're going to see you guys. Jamie, you have any final words? Any parting words from anybody?
Just have fun with everything.
Have fun.
You only live once. YOLO.
YOLO. YOLO. Word.
You get old and that's how you go.
Yeah. We have no life when we're old. It's just it's curtains from here on out. All right, guys. Have a good night. Be safe. Print some stuff. Paint some stuff.
Paint some stuff.
Yeah, go do it now. It's late, but go do it now.
I'm gonna go have supper.
You're gonna go have supper. The raccoons are too.
Yes, they are.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.